said, I'm insulted. I definitely let it fuel my fire during training, but at the end of the day, I can only take care of what I can take care of. So, um, but in my head, I've seen them push guys who've done a lot less, a lot further than what they're pushing me right now.
Always great catch up with the next guest. Bryan Battle is going to be back in action. UFC Fight Night, March 16th. Bryan, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. It's always a good time talking to you, especially because if I'm talking to you, that either means that a fight's on the way or I just whoop someone's ass. So, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Perfect. Right amount of time off in between fights, or were you hoping to get in there a little bit sooner?
I would have loved to have gotten in there like November, December would have been perfect. But, everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You can only control what you can control. In the time I've had off, I've gotten stronger and faster, you know what I'm saying? And that's just not me saying that. There's numbers behind that. So, I've improved physically, you know what I'm saying? I've gotten better mentally. I'm just a better fighter overall. So, I would have, 100%. I would have liked to gotten there sooner, but I'm gonna make a statement on March 16th. So it doesn't matter.
For sure. You got plenty of notice, right? I mean, the fight's on the 16th, but when did you actually find out?
No, I had a good amount of notice. Like, this is definitely I think the only fight I had more notice for. I mean, I take that back. I had notice for Sato. I had notice for Gore. But no, I've had plenty of notice for this fight. And when I get this amount of time to prepare for someone, I feel like I can't lose. There's no way. You know what I'm saying? I'm too prepared. I'm already crazy sharp right now. I'm sharper right now than I was going into fight AJ. So, there's no way I'm gonna lose this fight, brother. You know what I mean?
I can tell. Do you know if this is gonna be in front of a crowd or not? Because do you know where the destination is yet for the card?
Is that the Apex?
Damn. Okay.
It's like one of those things that, and I love the Apex. Obviously, I've fought the bulk of my career. The last couple of years have been primarily in the Apex, but I think they are missing out by not putting me somewhere where fans can buy tickets. You know what I'm saying? They need to be putting me on these fight night shows in different places. They need to start putting me on pay-per-view cards. There's a lot of people, as soon as the fight got announced, they were like, why is he fighting in the Apex again? You know what I'm saying? So this is another reason why I got to make a big statement with this, just to let them know, I'm a little bit of a big deal. They got to put me in the stage to be presented as a big deal. You know what I mean?
How many fights have you had in the Apex? Or you don't have to count those, but how many have you had in front of a crowd since you've been in the UFC?
One.
Okay, I was gonna say I didn't think it was a lot. So yeah, hopefully they're taking note of that, right?
And the one fight was once again a fight that I took on short notice.
That's
it was
right.
Someone else, but I forget his name. He fell out. Dude from Australia. He fell out, and I stepped in to fight Gabe, and it ended up being in Charlotte. So yeah, that after this fight, I'm really feeling like they need to put me on a bigger stage. You know what I'm saying? Especially because right now, I don't know, you never know what the card lineup is until the fight's actually happening. But right now, it looks like I'm on the prelims, which I think is absolutely audacious. You know what I'm saying? Insult. So, it's not Ange Loosa's fault. You know what I'm saying? I'm always coming out to show off regardless. But this fight, I got a little bit of extra motivation to, kind of show out a little bit more on them.
Yep, I get it. How do you feel like you match up against your opponent? He's got a 10-3 record. You guys have similar records, actually. How do you feel like you match up against him?
I've been saying Ang this whole time. Is it Ange?
I think you're right. Actually, I think I messed it up. So even though I'm the one who's supposed to pronounce this properly, I won't cut you any slack there or anything. I think you're probably saying it right.
It's one of those names, though. I've heard a couple different pronunciations.
Yeah. No offense, by the way, Ange, if you're watching this, or Ang.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, this is not the way I want to be dissing you by mispronouncing your name. I promise.
Sure.
Yeah. But nah, dude. I mean, I will say of everyone I fought, he's probably the most dangerous, most complete. Okay, I won't say the most dangerous because he hasn't gotten a finish in ages. But he's very complete. You know what I'm saying? You got to be on your toes. You can't let him do what he wants to do. You can't let him fight at the pace he wants to fight at. Very, very tough guy. Definitely the toughest guy I've fought. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't gotten a finish in forever, but he hasn't been finished his entire professional career. So that's definitely something I noticed, and that's something I'm looking forward to being the first person to stop him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put heavy pressure on him, a lot of hands. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be moving very well. You know what I'm saying? Using my range very, very well. You know, punishing him with the teeps. You know what I'm saying? Keeping him staying long. And he's gonna shoot. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt in my mind. Unless like I catch him with something early before he has the chance, I know he's gonna shoot. His wrestling's gotten a lot better. I think he's shown that off a little bit more in every fight, but I don't think his grappling is where it needs to be to go to try to grapple with me. You know what I'm saying? If he tries to grapple with me, then I might choke him out. Otherwise, if it's up to me, I'd like to put him away on the feet. But regardless, I'm putting him away. Super tough guy, really, really good. But it's just unfortunate he has to fight me right now at the state that I'm in right now. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Training camp, anything different? Any cross training, or is it all at home base? Who you working with?
All at home base. You know what I'm saying? We've brought in some sparring partners. No one that you would know of. You know what I'm saying?
Any like up and comers? Any names we are going to be hearing about soon?
Jonathan Martin for sure. He just had a fight on Fury not too long ago. He's someone where I think he's 2, maybe 3 fights away from being in the UFC. Super duper talented guy. He's been training for ages. You know what I'm saying? But there's a guy named Upright. He's an amateur battle turned pro, but build wise and athleticism wise, he literally is to a T. You know what I'm saying? He's a little bit bigger than he's a little bit bigger than Losa. He's a little bit bigger than Losa, but I think arm reach is about the same, which is the biggest thing with Losa. You know what I'm saying? He's not a super tall guy, but he's got tall arms. So that's really more or less the look that I'm looking for. So, a couple other guys, Maurice Morris, he's came in and given me rounds. He's going to be fighting in LFA soon. We've had a gentleman named Truckin Carson. He's come in a couple times. He just won a pro title on the regional circuit. So more of a bare knuckle guy right now. But yeah, I've had several different looks, you know what I'm saying? And it's just me, how I feel when I'm sparring, when I'm drilling and everything like that. I feel like I'm in a different place, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm almost entering the matrix right now. So I'm looking forward to getting in there on the 16th and showing some things off.
Has the weight cut got easier? Have you kind of figured it out a bit more competing in that weight class? Because I know when you first had it, it was a bit tougher, but have you kind of got it down to a science now, or how's all that going?
Well, it was ironic about that, and this is what I'll say. Before, normally what I would do is because I train a lot, and so before I was able to kind of get 2 strength and conditioning privates in a week outside of camp, and then I would go up to 3 inside of camp. But I was liking the work we were doing in the strength conditioning so much that immediately after my last fight, I went to 4 days a week just doing strength and conditioning. You know what I'm saying? And the difference is that it has shown just physically how different I am, as opposed to what people are used to, is going to be new. And then technically wise, we're always getting better, always getting sharper. So. I'm sorry, I was rambling a little bit on.
No, it's all good. I was just asking about the cut, if it's gotten easier, just because you've had a couple fights now at 170.
The reason I was talking about the strength and conditioning is so where I do have it down more to a science, it has like having like this much time notice has been a big help because I've definitely put on more muscle.
Okay.
So on one hand, it has gotten easier from like I know if I'm here, then that means this, and then that turns into this. But with that saying, it's taking more discipline leading up to it, and I have to monitor the diet leading up to the fight a little bit more, just because I am carrying more muscle, and I'm just a bigger, stronger, sexier machine right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take your word for it. Sounds good. You mentioned a finish. How do you see the fight playing out March 16th? How do you see it going down?
On the 16th, I don't really see it getting out of the second round. there's just going to be a lot of different things I'm going to be throwing at him. Like I said, he's a super duper tough guy, really, really tough guy. So I'm really priding myself on, you know, being the first person to stop him. You know what I'm saying? When that happens. Um, and like I said, I mean, I'm confident he's going to shoot if he gets the opportunity. You know, so whether I get to finish on the ground or get to finish on the feet, it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm good in both places. You know what I'm saying? I'm confident in both places. So, um, and you know, like you said, you know, me and my coaches, we've watched the tape. There's certain things that we've noticed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really, I do my best fighting when I just go out there and fight, and I'm just aware of certain things. You know what I'm saying? There's not anything that I'm looking for specifically. You know what I'm saying? There's several different ways I can fight endings, but one thing I don't see it doing is going to the third round.
You're getting closer to the rankings, I would think, especially another finisher. That's got to make some noise, right?
It's got to. It's got to, brother. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting insulted a little bit here. I'm seeing people get put in the video game who've done less than me. You know what I'm saying? People put in featured events on pay-per-views who've done less than me. You know, I'm getting a little insulted. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I won the Ultimate Fighter, which I think is something that should be celebrated more than any Contender Series win. You know what I'm saying? I had to fight 3 times for my contract.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I had to make weight twice in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? One of the guys I beat to get that shot, Andre Petrosky, he's 5-1 in the middleweight division. You know what I'm saying? So, and on top of that, like you said, the only fight that I've lost since I've been in the UFC, I took that on 2 weeks' notice. I had one bum knee going into the fight. I was in the hospital the day before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't in a good place going into that fight. Every fight where I've had more than 3 weeks to prepare and I've been reasonably healthy, I've killed people. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, I think after this fight, you know, you can't not put me against someone ranked. You know what I'm saying? I have to fight someone ranked. You know what I'm saying? If not, you know what I'm saying? Once again, I'm not going to spend too much time stressing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm insulted. I definitely let it fuel my fire during training, but at the end of the day, I can only take care of what I can take care of. So, but in my head, you know, I've seen them push guys who've done a lot less, a lot further than what they're pushing me right now.
And we're looking forward to the next fight, man. March 16th, UFC Fight Night. Bryan, thanks for doing this. Always appreciate the time, man. Always good insight. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. It's always a pleasure. It was one of the best MMA media interviews. You know
Thank you.
what I'm saying?
I'm going to put that on my resume. I appreciate that.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? Put me in a little clip at the beginning of the show. You know what I mean? Now I just shout out to my management, Iridium. Shout out to my team, Carolina Combat Sports. Uh, yeah. Oh, Instagram, Bryan Battle 68, Twitter, Bryan Battle 10, and you know everyone else who's helped me. You know what I'm saying? Helped me get to where I am. Thank you. You know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You guys know I'm an astronaut, so forgive me if I didn't say your name, but you know, there's been a lot of people who've helped me get to where I am. So, you know, there's a lot of things to go around. I'm a very blessed man. You know what I'm saying?